Today, on Be Something Wonderful, game-changing manifesting technique that shifts you instantly. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning, and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Just a few minutes ago, we went live on the public channel to talk about and introduce this powerful manifesting technique. Now, there's nothing new in the reality creation world, in the manifesting world. Teachers since the beginning of time have talked about affirmations, the idea of repetition, frequency, robotic affirmations, the idea of affirmations, asking the question, why am I so loved? Why am I so wealthy? Why am I so healthy? Why do I have the perfect job? Why is my life so perfect? And this has all been around. And those of you that have stories of mixed success, this video is going to change everything. Because yesterday's video in Robotic Affirmations, when 3D conditions seem impossible, we introduced the idea of answering your affirmation. Why am I so loved? Because I am loved, because I've always been loved. Wow. Remember, it closes the gap. It collapses time and space and changes everything. It changes your entire horizontal linear experience in that moment. Do you see? Where we were keeping the question open, when we go, why am I so loved? Yeah, but then you allow the people, events, and circumstances, the world around you, what you call your subjective past, your subjective tendencies, your memories. Fill in that, answer that question. They fill in the gap for you. But here, there's no possibility because you're answering the question. We're going to talk about this idea today and more. This is powerful. I'm calling it the affirmation and answer technique, or simply asked and answered. Right? Hashtag asked and answered. It combines the best of all these ideas of affirmations and robotic affirmations and affirmations. Right? It involves the idea of repetition and frequency. Remember, God doesn't need you to repeat it. God heard you the first time. Everything's already created. Creation is finished. So it's about you choosing. You choose by repeating. You choose where you're going to dwell. You choose that identity, and then you answer it. So there's no chance of the changing people, events, and circumstances, what you call triggers, what you call subjective tendencies or the subconscious memories to answer for you. This answer creates that emotion of conviction. We're not talking about the changing 3D emotions and feelings. We're talking about the feeling of conviction that I am that I am. I answered, asked and answered. Right? Circumstances are irrelevant because they're always changing. Thoughts and feelings are irrelevant because they're always changing. What changes can't be real or reality. But what never changes is your awareness of being, and that's where this is coming from. This is powerful, right? So I want to talk about this idea today and more. As we talked about it on the live stream, you can also check the live event. We hit it in a different way on the live event. Every thought, every assumption, every belief, every identity, every event that you could ever imagine exists as a mental imaginal image, or in other words, a memory. All that is all that is. So if you're not remembering yourself, others, your world, your reality as you would have liked it to be in terms of what we think of as the past, or would like it to be in terms of what we think as the present and future, you're remembering it wrong and will be wrong about everything. This is the quote from that movie Solaris, that remake of Solaris in 2002. We're talking about with George Clooney as Chris Kelvin, as he remembers his wife who died by suicide, remembering her wrong. And he goes, I was haunted by the idea that I remembered her wrong, and somehow I was wrong about everything. You don't have to remember it you don't have to remember it the way you didn't want it. That wasn't your preference. That was the unwanted reality. You don't have to think like that anymore. You don't have to assume like that anymore. You don't have to remember like that anymore. Now we're going to talk about, how do I remember the way I want it to be? What is the process to remember it righteously? Well, that's the affirmation and answer technique that we're going to talk about today. That was introduced in yesterday's video, right? This is powerful. So let's talk about this idea like we never have before, or like we did 5 minutes ago on our live stream. Catch the live stream too if you want. If you missed it, it was last minute. So there were only a few hundred of you on there, but it's now published. Why am I so loved? That's the affirmation. But we leave that out there. Why am I so wealthy? Why am I so loved? And then we leave that gap open for 3D circumstances to say, well, you're not loved. Well, you're not wealthy. Right? You allow, or the memories that you believe are experiences that are in the past. You're remembering it now. You're remembering it wrong. It's not linear. So answer the question, why am I so loved? Because I am. I am loved. Why am I so loved? Because I've always been loved. Why am I so loved? Because I say so. Do you see this? This rewrites and revises your past, present, and future right now, instantly, by who and what you're conscious of being. By moving to the identity that answers that question. This is powerful. The affirmation lights up those images or frames of reality. Remember, all those frozen frames of reality exist as potential. But when you ask the question, you light it up as a possibility for you, that mental image or that memory, where you have always been loved, where you've always been healthy, where you've always been wealthy, where you've always been successful, where you've always been with your ideal life or body or looks or appearances or anything else that you desire. It's there, you light it up because all those memories exist here and now as frozen frames of potential. And you light them up by asking that question. But here's the difference that we introduced in yesterday's video. When you answer the question, that frozen frame of reality that's now lit up is threaded into a story, into a linear horizontal experience, past, present, and future, of who you are. In that moment, that answer threads them together as your chosen linear horizontal experience. That's why I always point to that story in Scripture, in The Chosen. Right? Well, the show The Chosen, but also in Scripture. The story of the healing of the centurion's servant. Right? The servant was healed at that very moment. At the very moment that you thread together that new experience, that new alternative parallel reality. You're not trying to change any one reality, any one image, any one script, any one alternative parallel possibility. All that is all that is. It's not about changing any one of those images. It's about choosing. But how do you choose? By asking the question with an affirmation and then answering it. Now there's no possibility of non-fulfillment. You've closed the door on non-fulfillment because you've asked and you answered. Asked and answered. This is powerful. The answer is what threads together that horizontal linear experience. The question lights it up, that frozen frame that already exists. Remember, you're not creating anything. You're not manifesting anything. It's already there. You're lighting it up, and then you're threading together a story by answering the question and occupying that identity where you've always been loved, where you've always been wealthy, where you've always been healthy, where you've always had that ideal appearance, body weight, or looks that you want. Money, specific persons, love, the jobs, the fame, whatever you want. This is powerful. Let's talk about this. There it is. There you are is all that is. The center of the divine mind, the center of the universe, the center of all that is. Put yourself at the center of everything. I've talked about that in many videos. Put yourself at the center of reality. Remember, all the mental images or memories of experiences are there already, infinite in number. But when you light them up Every thought, every assumption, every belief is a frozen frame of light or potential. But when you use an affirmation or a robotic affirmation, when you ask the question, you light it up. You light that frozen frame of light, potential up, because creation's finished. It's already there. So when you ask and affirm, why am I so healthy, wealthy, loved, and perfect? You light up those frozen frames of light or memories or mental images of the truth and reality about you. But here's the key. Yeah, it's lit up, and you ask, well, then why am I not creating it in my physical experience? Because you're allowing others to answer for you. You're allowing this manifested experience of 3D reality to answer for you. You're allowing your subjective memories of what you believe is the past to answer for you. You're allowing your fear or doubt or uncertainty about the future that's not here yet, that you believe is not here yet, to answer for you. Instead, you answer. It's your answer that threads those frames together to create the story in physical, linear, horizontal experience in time and space. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's powerful. Do you see it? Otherwise, it's lit up. Creation's finished. All those images do exist within you. But until you create the story, until you thread the story through that identity of I've always been loved, I've always been wealthy, I've always been healthy, I've always had the ideal appearance, I've always been perfect in every way. Until you do that, then it remains as this lit up frame of potential, but you create the story by answering it. Because why am I so wealthy? Because I've always been wealthy. Because I am wealth. Why am I so loved? Because I've always been loved. Because I am love itself. This is powerful, right? This is powerful. So the story and ideas of past, present, and future is just the focused 3D personality's way. Hear this. I said this in the live stream. Well, I said everything in the live stream because I read off this board. The ideas, the story and ideas of the past, present, and future is just a focused 3D personality's way of making sense of its simultaneous true nature of being everything, everywhere, and all at once. It's the way we make sense of our simultaneity. It's the way we make sense of our instantaneity. Right? Creation's finished means everything is here and now. All potential frames, images, memories, and experiences. All those frozen frames of potential exist. And you're lighting them up in every moment. But what makes because all thoughts, all feelings, everything is creative on some level. Right? All beliefs, all assumptions. But what creates is the story you decide to tell with those frames. How you thread them together becomes your physical linear 3D experience. Do you see? They're all there, they're all created. But you're going to go, well, but they don't all manifest, right? You know that not every single thought you have manifests. Why? Because it's not, you create a story of some thoughts and some beliefs and some things and some others. And you create a linear horizontal experience of all of it. It's how you thread it together that creates that physical experience. Right? Creation's finished means it's all here and now, all potential frames, all potential identities, all potential versions of you. It's the ancient, that's why it's called the ancient past in a sense by some. It's all that happened, is happening, and will happen is here and now. It's happening right now. But in a sense, it is the past because creation's finished, meaning all that potential exists here and now. Science thinks about it as the idea of the Big Bang. Everything created all at once, right? In one big bang, every potential image or experience of you as ultimate reality was created. So you have this linear experience, but you thread this together. That becomes your physical manifested experience that you call the past, present, and future. But really, what is it? It's really the past, the past, present, the past, future. We use the present as a placeholder. Right? A placeholder either to reminisce about a past that we miss or regret a past that we didn't desire, we feel that is still defining us. And then we're in the present hoping for some future that seems out of reach and never comes. Just using it as a placeholder, really, where it's all now, it's the eternal now moment. And so when you ask the question, why am I so wealthy? And you answer it that I've always been wealthy, that's the truth of reality. You're threading together a physical, linear 3D experience that bears witness to that answer, to that affirmation, that asked and answered affirmation. That's powerful. So let's talk about this. Everything that could possibly happen, that happened, is happening, or will happen, already happened. Creation's finished. In other words, it's all potential. You're in all realities. You're in all identities. And you, as I am awareness, all that is, can remember or light up any memory or mental image or part of creation to experience it again. That gives you the experience like you're experiencing it the first time. But it's already created. You've already experienced it. But this is why you're here, to light it up in a different way, to experience from a different viewpoint, vantage point, and perspective. To be more aware of all that you are. For God to know itself as God experientially. So it creates the experience that you're creating it for the first time. And that's your 3D physical linear experience. Affirmations consciously light up that already existing frame or frozen frame of light or memory. And your answer, this is the key to it, this is what we introduced in yesterday's video. Your answer, why am I so loved? Because I am. Because I've always been loved. Because I'm love itself. Threads them together, threads those frozen frames of light together into a story, into an identity, into a new physical manifested experience in every moment. Try it. I challenge you. I challenged you guys on the live stream just a few moments ago. I challenge all of you, all nearly 64,700 subscribers, to try this challenge. Ask the question, then answer it. There's no gap now. That's your reality. That's who you are. You've threaded the frames together. Right? Yes, you might say, well, Tom, but I remember. I remember, though, that reality where that past that I didn't prefer, or that past where I enjoyed. Yes, but you're lighting it up now. Remember, it's not in the past. It's here and now. You're creating that image now. You're remembering it the way you want it. Remember it the way you want to remember it. Remember it as you would have liked to remember it. And now you're creating from that powerful new identity. Even if it's an idea of something that happened in the past and you think that it helped you become stronger, you created an experience that you became stronger from it, even though you didn't need it because you're already all that is. You can't be stronger and more fulfilled than who you are right now. But we can create that experience. But that it still means you no longer that horizontal linear past. You're something more than that. And now that's one possibility of who you were. Because right now you are all of it. So remember it righteously. If you're not remembering, remember, what is memory? It's just an imaginal act. When we do a state akin to sleep and we imagine our imagined future, you're just imagining the past. The future, the past, present, and future are all the past in a sense, meaning they're already created. You can imagine the future just as easily as you can imagine the past. You can imagine your preferred future, your ideal future, your wish fulfilled just as easy in the future, in the past as you do in the future. Because it all exists now. So you're creating fulfillment. So why am I so loved? Because I've always been loved. Because I am love. Why am I so wealthy? Because I've always been wealthy. I am wealth. I am abundance. Why am I so healthy? Because I am health itself. I'm the vitality of all that is. I'm the center of the divine mind with that divine body that's perfect. Why do I have that ideal weight or that ideal looks? Or because I've always had it. I just couldn't see it before because I was remembering it wrong. This is powerful. Try it. It's the game-changing manifesting technique. The ask-formation and answering that, and then answering that ask-formation. robotically, repeating it. Remember, those changing thoughts and feelings, those changing circumstances mean nothing. They do nothing. They are irrelevant. Your reality, they are not. You are the awareness within which it all takes place. Try it. It shifts you instantly. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter, at Tom Kearin, our TikTok channel at Be Something Wonderful, and for being part of our membership channel. We have a live stream where we're going to answer your questions live on the chat, and also the questions that you've been sending to us at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. This is our regular live stream that we do for the members on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. If you're a member, join us. If you're not, check out the link below. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.